Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting of the Texas Lottery Commission to order. Today is April the 29th. It is 10 a.m. We have a quorum. Commissioner Franz should be here shortly. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance to the U.S. and Texas flags. Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Okay, first item is a report from the Bingo Advisory Committee. Trey Smith, this is your item.
Morning, Chairman Rivera, Bingo Commissioner Fields, and Commissioners. Yesterday, the BAC met to discuss several items, of which the two main items were bills in the legislature that would affect bingo and a recent bingo advisory opinion request. The BAC decided to form a subcommittee to gather facts for the public comment period on how the request would affect the charitable bingo industry. The subcommittee will have its findings into the staff no later than the 20th of May. Also, I would like to thank Chairman Rivera, Bingo Commissioner Fields, and the other commissioners for helping the charitable bingo industry, the BAC, and the charities that conduct bingo in the state of Texas. We would also like to thank LaDonna and Tyler and the rest of the staff for the work they have put into not only the industry, but the countless hours for the BAC. That concludes my report.
Commissioners, any questions?
I have a quick comment. I'd like to thank you guys for your service to your industry and for being advisors to the commission, and you especially for your excellent continuing leadership of the BAC.
Thank you.
Taking the time to testify before various legislative bodies, and I hope it helps charitable bingo in Texas.
I think it will.
Grace, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Next item is adoption of the courier rule changes. Bob Baird, your item.
Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Sure.
Thank you, Chairman. For the record, Sergio Rey, Acting Deputy Executive Director. Before we begin, I'd like to provide a simplified chronology of events leading to this rule amendment before the Commission Board. On February 24th, the Executive Director at the time issued a policy statement accounting that lottery ticket courier services were not allowed under Texas law, and that the agency will move forward with proposed rule amendments to align with state law and legislative efforts to address the serious concerns from players and state leadership. Prior to and following the policy statement, self-reported retailers were with affiliation with lottery courier services had compliance inspections from our enforcement division. Any violations from existing administrative rule have been followed through administrative procedures, through administrative procedures. Now, following commission meeting on March the 4th, a subsequent 30-day public comment period with a hearing on April 3rd, today we bring forth the final rule amendment for your consideration. And yes, Bob Baird, our General Counsel, will now present that final rule amendment.
Thank you, Sergio. Commissioners, I'm Bob Beard, General Counsel. Staff recommends adoption of the amendments to three lottery rules, Rules 401.158, 401.160, and 401.355. That would require the Commission to revoke the lottery ticket sales agent license of a retailer that works in concert with the courier, whether under a common ownership arrangement or otherwise. The Commission approved publication of the amendments at the March 4th meeting. Two entities provided written comments to the proposal, and those same commenters and one other provided oral comments at the public comment hearing on April 3rd. Comments in support of the proposal were provided by the Texas Food and Fuel Association, which represents the wholesale and retail levels of the food and petroleum industries in Texas, and whose members own, operate, or supply more than 16,500 retail convenience stores in Texas. Comments opposed to the proposal were provided by the Coalition of Texas Lottery Couriers, comprised of couriers Jackpocket, Jackpot.com, and Lotto.com. As required by the Administrative Procedure Act, the preamble to the proposed adopted amendments includes the agency's response to these comments. Staff recommends adoption of the amendments.
Okay. Do we have any speakers?
We do not have anyone signed up for public comment.
Okay. Commissioners, any discussion, any questions?
Mr. Chairman, I just would like to make one comment. You'll
Is
recall.
your
Yeah, it's on green.
Okay.
You'll recall I voted against the initial promulgation of this rule back on March 4th for the reason being at that time that I did believe that the actions we had taken regarding bulk purchasing, you'll recall the limiting the number of terminals and some of those policies that we had taken addressed that, which was the pressing need at the time, and that we would be better served to wait until we heard from the legislature on details of what they were proposing. As we know, there's a lot of legislation out there on this issue right now. However, I have during this 30-day period and weighing the evidence and all, I'm persuaded that this is the right move to go forward, and that we should to do the maximum amount allowable under our current statute, which is what this does, in my understanding, and that we should proceed with that. And then when we see what the legislature produces, we'll then be back here to fine tune that whichever direction they go. So I just want to clarify that from that previous vote, and I'll be voting in favor.
Okay, Mark, thank you for your comments. Any additional comments?
I have
Questions?
one question for Bob. Bob, if the legislature were to come to an agreement and decide to regulate the couriers, what happens to this rule? It doesn't just go away, right? The commission needs to take immediate action.
There would be an effective date for the new law,
Uh-huh.
and the commission would likely, be required to adopt rules to implement the new law, in which event, these changes being made now would be repealed or modified to conform to the new law.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Commissioners, any other discussion? Okay. Is there a motion to adopt the rule changes?
So moved.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Motion passes. Next item is
Chairman?
appointing, go ahead, Sergio.
Yes, apologies. If I may, now that the rule amendment has been approved, the agency will commence with, appropriate administrative processes of whether it relates to investigations or respond to any violations within due process. So John Graham, our enforcement director, is available to provide any details of this process if you so please.
Okay. Commissioners, any additional discussion, questions? Okay. Sergio, we appreciate it and grateful for the work that you are doing, have done, and will do, Bob and John as well. Thank you. Okay. Next item is appointing a commissioner to the legal subcommittee. Bob, this is your item.
Thank you, commissioners. With the recent departure of Commissioner Smith, there's now a vacancy on the legal subcommittee. After discussion with the chairman and Commissioner Franz, we recommend that you as a board take action to appoint Commissioner Franz to serve on the legal subcommittee with the chairman. Happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Any questions, comments? Okay. Is there a motion to appoint Commissioner Franz to the legal subcommittee?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes. Commissioner Franz, welcome to the legal subcommittee.
Thanks.
All righty. Next item is a report on hub and minority business participation. Eric Williams, this is your item.
Good morning, Chairman, Commissioners. For the record, my name is Eric Williams, and I am the Historically Underutilized Business Program Coordinator, or the HUB part of the HUB program. As you're aware, the HUB program is a statewide initiative that provides assistance and contracting opportunities to minority, women, and service-disabled, veteran-owned businesses. I'd like to provide a brief update on our program before I speak about the Minority Business Participation Report. At the beginning of each fiscal year, the agency sets its annual internal hub goals as required by the Comptroller's rules. This year's goals and a set of summary reports were sent to you last fall. A copy of the agency's finalized fiscal year 2024 Minority Business Participation Report is included in your notebooks this morning. This is an annual report which is required by Section 466.107 of the State Lottery Act and must be made available to the governor, lieutenant governor, Speaker of the House, and members of the legislature. The report documents minority and hub participation in our agency's contracting activities and includes information on the number of licensed minority retailers. During fiscal year 2024, the agency received an overall participation rate of 10.72% in its minority hub contracting activities, which is an increase from our fiscal year 2023's performance of 9.63%. Of the 22 largest spending state agencies and universities in fiscal year 2024, the agency ranked 15th by overall hub percentage. During this reporting period, the agency also had 8,931 minority retailers, which represented 41.69% of the Texas Lottery's total retailer base. I'll be happy to answer any questions regarding this report at this time.
Okay, Eric, thank you. Commissioners, any discussion?
Thank you very much, Eric.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
No, thank you. And for pointing out on the number of retailers that we've got. It's 40% is a good number. That's a little bit different for our agency than a lot of agencies because we have so many external agents in our circle. So
Yes, sir.
thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, is there a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve.
Okay.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion passes. Eric, thank you so much for your hard work and we are very grateful.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you.
Commissioners.
Okay, next item is a report on lottery operations procurement. Angela.
Good morning, Chairman, Commissioners. For the record, my name is Angela Skyby-Sagarba, the Director of Administration. Item 6 in your notebook is a briefing item. This is an interim status update to let you know that the RFP continues to progress as planned and under review. I'd be happy to answer any questions or if you have any comments or questions.
Okay, Commissioners, any discussion, comments, questions? Angela, thank you very much. We appreciate the work that you do. Okay, next item is a report on lottery sales, revenue transfers, and agency financials. Sergio, your item.
Well, thank you, Chairman. For the record, Sergio Rey, Acting Deputy Executive Director. Well, this morning we have a new format of our previous 3 financial agenda items, and they have now been consolidated to one report. Specifically, the product line details we have already reviewed and discussed with our planning subcommittee. Annika Guarnero, our Financial Operations Manager, will be making today's presentation.
Good morning. For the record, my name is Annika Guarnero, Financial Operations Manager in the Office of the Controller. Next slide, please. Thank you. The first item we'll cover will be sales through week ending April 9, 2025. At the 33-week mark of fiscal year 2025, we have reached total sales of $5.16 billion. This is a decrease of roughly $323 million, or 5.9%, from last year's $5.48 billion for the same time period. Draw sales are reflecting a decrease of approximately $235 million less than last year. This year's total is $978.6 million versus the $1.213 billion last year. Scratch ticket sales, noted in the orange bars, encompass 81% of sales through week 33. The $4.176 billion total is about $88 million less than last year. For our second part of our agenda item, I'll be presenting a high-level summary of the accrued revenues and transfers to the state through March 31st, 2025. Next slide, please. Thank you. Our accrued revenue transfers to the state totaled $949 million for the first 7 months of fiscal year 2025. Of this amount transferred to the state from sales, $887 million were transferred to the Foundation School Fund. On our next slide, this slide shows that $17.3 million were transferred to the Texas Veterans Commission. The remaining $44.3 million were transferred from unclaimed prizes. While the overall amount of transfers is less than compared to this time last fiscal year, our next slide shows our cumulative accrued transfers through March 2025 to the Texas Education is $34.7 billion and $267.9 million to Texas veterans. Next slide, please. The third part of this agenda item is the budget summary through the second quarter of fiscal year 2025, ending February 28th, 2025. We provided this detailed data in your notebooks. Next slide, please. Of the total funding appropriated by the legislature to the commission, $336 million is for the lottery account budget. Through the second quarter, 76.8% or $258.3 million of this budget has either been expended or encumbered. Our next slide shows that the bingo operating budget is $2.5 million, which is funded through general revenue. Through the second quarter, 89.8% or $2.3 million of this budget has either been expended or encumbered. Overall, these percentages align with previous fiscal years and reflect our ongoing commitment to responsible stewardship of state funds. This concludes my presentation of Agenda Item 7.
Okay, great presentation. Thank you. Commissioners, any questions, discussion? Thank you very much. Good job. Okay, next item is report on the legislative session. Nelda, your item.
There. Good morning, Commissioners. For the record, I'm Nelda Trevino. I'm the Director of Governmental Affairs. We have provided you an updated bill tracking report this morning, and I have a high-level summary and some brief comments regarding a few bills. Senate Bill 1, the General Appropriations Bill by Senator Joan Huffman and Representative Greg Bonin, outlines the state budget for the 2026-2027 biennium. The appointed conference committee, comprised of 5 House members and 5 Senate members, is meeting to resolve the differences between the House and Senate versions. As you are aware, the House version of the appropriations bill zeroes out the agency's budget, and the Senate version maintains the agency's funding and also adds 2 new riders related to the lottery reporting requirements. The conference committee will adopt a final budget to be presented to the House and to the Senate for a final vote. House Bill 500 by Representative Bonin is the supplemental appropriations bill. This bill was voted out of the House, and it is anticipated to be considered by the Senate Finance Committee. The bill, as voted out of the House, includes the agency's 2 IT exceptional items, requests for the bingo operating service system and for the agency's CAP financial system. Senate Bill 28 by Senator Bob Hall relates to the prohibition of lottery couriers. The bill was voted out of the Senate on February the 27th and is pending consideration by the House. Senate Bill 1346 by Senator Brian Hughes relates to the prohibition of bulk purchases for lottery tickets. This bill was voted out of the Senate on April the 10th and is pending consideration by the House. House Bill 4172 by Representative Sophronia Thompson relates to the regulation of charitable bingo. This bill was considered by the House Licensing and Administrative Procedures Committee, and a committee substitute was voted out favorably from the committee. Provisions of the bill include authorizing the establishment of a nonprofit corporation and a mechanism to advertise and promote charitable bingo, allowing the return of bingo products to licensed distributors under certain circumstances, increasing the prize amount exempt from prize fees from $5 to $100, and increasing the amount a licensed charity can maintain in reserve for capital allowances from $50,000 to $100,000. House Bill 2820 by Representative A.J. Lauterbach also relates to the regulation of charitable bingo. This bill was also considered by the House Licensing and Administrative Procedures Committee, and a committee substitute was also voted out favorably from the committee. This bill increases the amount a licensed charity can maintain in reserve for capital allowances from $50,000 to $100,000. It is anticipated these two bills related to charitable bingo will now be considered by the full House. Senate Bill 1721 by Senator Mays Middleton relates to the transfer of the regulation of charitable bingo to the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation. The bill was considered by the Senate State Affairs Committee, and a committee substitute was voted out favorably from the committee. This bill is now scheduled to be considered on May 1st by the Senate under its local and uncontested calendar. The committee substitute for Senate Bill 1721 requires the transfer of the bingo program to occur by September 1st, 2026. The agency sunset legislation, Senate Bill 2404 by Senator Middleton and its House companion, House Bill 1505 by Representative Lacey Hull, have not been considered by the committees. In closing, the regular legislative session will conclude on Monday, June 2nd. Beginning May 12th, legislative deadlines for action under House and Senate rules will begin coming into effect in order for bills to continue through the legislative process. We will continue monitoring legislation through the end of the session, identify bills that are enacted impacting the agency, and will begin preparing for the legislative implementation project. This concludes my report, and I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Okay, Nelda, thank you. Commissioners, any questions, any discussion?
Thank you, Nelda.
Thanks, Nelda. Busy time.
Thank you, Nelda.
You're welcome.
Okay, next item is the internal auditor's report. Darlene.
Good morning, Commissioners. For the record, I'm Darlene Brown, the internal auditor. I have a short report for you today. Our team has been very busy. We've issued out the advertising program audit report, and those controls were generally effective. We also completed the claims and price management audit and concluded that controls are generally effective there. We're in the middle of the budget audit. We completed the quarterly network access reviews and had no issues. We've also begun looking at the lottery contractor RFP process to make sure that those were followed. And we will soon start the drawing studio audit. And then later on this month, or in May, we will look at the IT software system lifecycle. That concludes my report for today.
Okay, Darlene, thank you. Commissioners, any discussion? We are very grateful for all of your detailed work, and it's definitely noted, and we're grateful. Darlene, thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
Okay, next item is the bingo's director report. Donna, your item.
Good morning, Commissioners. For the record, LaDonna Castanuela, Director, Charitable Bingo Operations Division. In your notebooks, you have the division's output metric reports for February and March. I'm available to answer any questions you may have. That's all I have for you this morning.
Okay, Commissioners, any discussion? Cindy? Donna?
Thanks, LaDonna.
Yep, thank you. Bob, did you want to say something?
Sure. Yes, Chairman. On item 11, this is the Executive Director report. This agenda item was prepared by the former Executive Director, who's no longer with the agency. My understanding is this item is tabled and won't be taken up today.
Okay. Okay, so next item,
The enforcement cases.
enforcement cases 12. Bob?
Yes,
Your item.
Commissioner. Again, I'm Bob Beard, General Counsel. This item contains 24 lottery cases, tabs A through X. These are cases where a lottery or bingo licensee violated a statute or rule. In most cases, either the respondent failed to appear at the hearing and it proceeds by default, or the staff and the respondent reached a settlement in the form of an agreed order. We have both of these types of cases today. These are all lottery cases today, as well as one case that did go to the State Office of Administrative Hearings. Tabs A through N are the non-sufficient fund lottery retailer license revocations handled in a single order. Each case was presented at the State Office of Administrative Hearings for revocation of the retailer license because the licensee failed to have sufficient funds in their bank account to cover electronic fund transfers to the commission's account. In each case, the licensee failed to appear at the hearing and the judge remanded the case to the commission to handle as a default matter. Tabs O through W are lottery agreed orders. And we have a variety of violations in those. These are settlements. And finally, tab X is a SOA case. Retailer requested a redetermination of the amount that the commission determined was owed following a flooding incident in which tickets were stolen and validated. The judge recommended in favor of the commission that the retailer must pay the amount of the commission, the amount that the commission determined was owed. That concludes my presentation. I recommend approval of all these orders, and you may take them up in a single vote if you like.
Okay. Bob, thank you. Commissioners, any discussion? Okay. Is there a motion to approve the orders, tabs A through X? We have a motion. Is there a second? Motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you, commissioners.
Okay. Bob, do we have any public comment?
We have no requests for public comment.
Okay. I move that the Texas Lottery Commission go into executive session to deliberate personnel matters and to receive legal advice. Is there a second? We have a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. The Texas Lottery Commission will go into executive session at 10:27 a.m. on April 29th, 2025. Okay, the Texas Lottery Commission is out of executive session at 11:01 a.m. We have some action items to take. Do we have a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the employee performance evaluation for LaDonna Castanuela and a 6.5% salary increase for LaDonna effective May 1st, 2025.
Okay. Commissioners, any discussion?
Second. All right.
Okay, all right, no discussion. Do we have a motion? Cindy made the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes.
Thank you, Ladonna.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's been a busy year.
Yes.
I didn't mean to cut off your praise. Sorry.
Your guidance at bingo and has been absolutely wonderful, and just the time that you've spent here has been quality for the agency, and your being at the helm is such a just night and day difference from those that have been here before. So we're incredibly grateful for all that you do and the work that you do to help bingo across the state. So LaDonna, thank you very much. Well deserved.
Very much.
Okay. All righty. Commissioners, I believe that this concludes the business of our meeting. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll move to adjourn.
Do we have a second?
I'll say.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.